Hi everyone, thank you so much for logging in and checking out my channel. I sincerely appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, whether you guys are checking out because you're curious, whether you came across this just by a stroke of luck. I sincerely appreciate it. And for me, this channel really serves as a creative outlet for me to just express myself about all things PhD, all things about being a woman, culture, and all the likes. I created this channel specifically because I just finished my first year of PhD, and I have learned, and I'm still learning so much. But one of the major things I learned is that it can be a very tiresome, lonesome, and cumbersome process. It is, and there is no opportunity unless you create it to have a creative outlet. There isn't any, and unless I have that, I can feel myself going absolutely insane. And so I decided to create this channel to help me in that process. And if through this process I'm able to inspire someone, help someone, make someone smile, then I've done my job. Then I've absolutely done my job, and I'm thrilled beyond expression. So without further ado, a little bit about me, since you guys were so kind to log in. I was born and raised in New York City, specifically Queens, very proudly. And I spent my whole life thinking that I'm going to be some big Wall Street hotshot. And that's what I spent my whole life focusing on. And then I decided when I entered into high school, I wanted to get involved in as many things as possible. So one of those things was a great organization called Global Kids. So even though I wanted to be this hotshot Wall Street person, I was very interested in what they had to say about international relations. Needless to say, the rest is history, and I absolutely sipped the Kool-Aid, and now I'm in love with IR, and that's what I focus on. We can get into that, the actual full detailed story, because it's extremely long, in another video if you guys are interested with that, but that's just like the nutshell. Anyways, fast forward, I went to St. John's University, Red Storm proud, where I focused on politics and government with a double minor in history and Arabic. I then went on to earn my master's in England at the University of Nottingham. I definitely wanted to have a proper, for those of you who are familiar with the movie Kabhi Khushi Kabhie Gham, the eldest son went away to England and earned his master's, and I'm like, I want to do that. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to go to England. And I went to England and earned my master's, and then I came back to the States and went and worked for a little while, but then I knew that I definitely wanted to go back to school. And I was lucky and honored to be accepted into the PhD program at Old Dominion University in Virginia, where I'm currently at. I am going to enter into my second year, but I focus on international relations, shocker, with a focus on war and genocide. That I know can seem a little bit grim, but it is something that interests me immensely, and it is something that I am a huge advocate about learning about that content, because it, just like war, genocide has progressed, it has advanced, and it's not going to look like the Holocaust. It's not going to look like the camps that we saw in Auschwitz, but it's still occurring, and the United Nations does not recognize these new forms of genocide. And so a lot of my research really focuses on that. I really don't know what my thesis would be, but that's a whole other issue. But I know that that's what I'm passionate about, specifically conflict. And so I'm on that conflict track. I also wanted to start this because as a woman of color, when you're embarking on something, you always like to know, like, if there's more, like, is there any more information out there about people who's doing stuff like this? People like me. Social media has enabled us to have Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of these things where you can connect with other people and like-minded people who have similar experiences that you have had. A simple search on YouTube, when you look up PhD and like just advice about PhD, you would see automatically they would go to men. Predominantly people who've made these videos about PhD journeys are men. They are Caucasian males, which again, it's fine, it happens. But then they're also in STEM. I'm not a STEM major. I am a liberal arts major, and I am a woman of color studying government of all things. I'm not studying art history, I'm studying government and politics, international relations, and I wanted someone in my field to hear from someone in my field like that. What was their experience? I could not find that. And even more specifically, I'm not what most people would assume would just be an Indian from the subcontinent. I am a first generation West Indian. Long story short, my parents are from Guyana. They migrated from Guyana, which is in South America, moved to the States, and I was the first in my entire family to be born in America. There's not people from my cultural background or in videos where I can find where I can identify with that. There just isn't. And that was very discouraging for me. It was to a point where it's actually kind of frustrating because that's not fair. I know so many powerful, intelligent, great West Indian minds who do so much, but yet for some reason there hasn't been someone who's made a video, broke through that PhD specifically in liberal arts. And I wanted to change that. And that's why even more so I started this video, because this channel specifically, because if I, for some crazy reason, can tell people my story, then people like me, women of color, West Indian women of color, can see that you can do anything. It's okay that it doesn't follow the normal tracks that we were taught about or that we see within our family. It's okay to do something a little bit different as long as you are passionate about it. I've had the tremendous luck that I've had parents who, even if they couldn't fully understand my passions, if they saw that I was passionate about it, they fought to make sure that I got it done. Some way, somehow, they would support me. But that's not always the case. And so many times you can get a lot of negative feedback, a lot of negative lashback just for trying to be different. And I'm here to say it's okay. It's fully okay. I love my culture. I love exactly where I came from. I love that everything I do. But in every aspect, I've learned that there is always something new and always something different and always something negative that can cause people to be like, no, don't do this. No, this is not what you should be doing. That's not what typical good Guyanese galdam do. No. It's okay. As long as you're passionate about it, do it, and you know you're doing it for the right reasons, no one can really stop you. And for me, this is what this channel represents. This is what I wanted this channel to be. So this is why I created this. If this is the channel that you guys find interesting, you guys want to hear more from me, you guys just have more questions, I have linked a email in my bio. Please send me emails. Please leave comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And thank you once again for logging on and checking out my channel. My name's Cassie, and thank you guys so much for joining. Bye!